Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to my craft room. Come on in. Today is the official introduction to something I have been so excited about, 100 ways to use scraps. So this isn't day one just yet, but this is our kickoff. Let's gather around and talk about the 100 Ways series. And we're going to officially begin with projects on Saturday, February 21st. But today I want to share the vision, the goal, and how it's all going to work. This series is about two things, really. Yes, it's about using our scraps, but it's also about building something meaningful. So most of us have a box or a bin or maybe several filled with scraps. I have many. Pretty scraps, just can't throw that away scraps. I'll use this someday scraps. Well, someday is now. So my hope is that by the end of this series, that our scrap bins are lighter, maybe even empty, or at least organized in a way that makes more sense for our crafting and crafting style. So as we go through these projects, we might discover just the way that we store our scraps really does actually matter, because they might need to be sorted differently, or maybe we need to start keeping fewer of the tiny bits and maybe just focus on larger pieces. I just really want to elevate scraps to the same care and organization that we do with our other junk journal supplies, because I think if we elevate the importance of them and consider them a junk journal supply, that maybe we would give more care and attention to, like I said, the way we store them, the way we organize them. That's my hope. I hope that we're going to learn, hopefully, we'll learn that together as we go through this series. But here's the part I love the most. We're not just making random projects. We are going to create our own inspiration book. So by the end of this series, we're each going to have a personal reference. It's going to be a collection of 100 scrap ideas that we can flip through anytime we feel stuck or need some inspiration. So as we're going through the 100 ways, just one example of each project goes into our book of ideas. So if we end up mass making one of those projects, which I highly encourage, because some of them are just going to be such quick and simple makes that it's just going to make sense to make 3 or 4 of them at a time. What are we going to do with those multiples? Well, I suggest after we put the one example into our book, and if you've made extras, I want you to keep a empty shoebox, bin, memory box, big folder, something close by, so that your extras don't end up as a pile on the side of your desk. I don't want to make a big mess. I want to use up those scraps and make them into something usable for our junk journals. A sample's going in our book, and if you make any extras, please have something handy, something empty close by. It's similar to our shoebox stash series that we just did. So we're building 2 things, an inspiration book and a usable stash. Now, to me, that feels very productive. I created a checklist for us to use. So this will be linked in my Ko-fi shop. I'll put the link below. So grab this, print this. So it's the checklist of the 100 ways to use our scraps. I've broken it down into 5 categories. They're all numbered 1 through to 100. And I was thinking we could check things off as we finish them. And then we can fold this up and we can glue it, let's say, into the front or the back of our inspiration book for future reference. So you can keep it in a binder or keep it with your scraps or whatever. I'm going to be putting mine in my journal. So last year I participated in the 100 days series, and I did the 100 days project, and I did 100 days of envelopes. That's where I met a lot of you. So I numbered everything as I went along, and I ended up with these 2 giant books. So this year I got smarter, and I thought, and I did, I numbered everything. So everything has a number, and it says like that's day 13. I numbered them somehow, day 17, day 18. So mostly in chronological order. But as you can see, on the back of every single page, I added a printable as a background just to make the book pretty. Well, you know what? This is a book of ideas, and because I'm doing this as a video series, I wanted it to be pretty, of course, but I thought, you know what? And I used an altered book for this. This time around, I'm not going to add all those background pages. So there's at least 70, 50, 60, 70 extra pages added to these two books just for backgrounds. So that is part of the reason why these got so big. So big. So to answer, a few people have asked, is this journal going to be big enough to house all our projects? And I am hoping so. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, because we're not adding all those background pages. So we're not adding extra pages into the book. We're just adding projects. Set these aside for a second. So I think that'll reduce a lot of the bulk. Number two, let me use one for example here that I have completed. So here's a journal. So let's say we do the first 20 projects, which are pockets. So we have a pocket on page 1, some sort of pocket on page 2, page 3. And then later on, we get to like week 8 and we've done a quote tag. Well, where are we going to put the tag? We're going to tuck it into a pocket. So we're going to come back, even though we're on day, what was it? Quote tag 74. And we're in week 8 and we're way back here. I might take that quote tag and come back to the front here somewhere and tuck it into one of the pockets from this section. So this is what I'm thinking. Each project, each piece that we make, we're going to put a number on it. So it has its number, and then we're going to put it in our book. And then we're going to write beside each one what page number it's on. Does that make sense? That's what I'm going to do. So I will be going through my journal, and it'll be page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. I'll be writing a page number on each of my pages. Now, if I put a project in and it gets covered up, I'll rewrite the number up at the top or something. So that way I'll be able to reference this later and say, okay, where is that number set, that quote tag? I know it's a tag, so it's in the tag section. So I can quickly look through here. Oh, there's the quote tag. Oh, and it's on page whatever, and find the page number where I can find it quickly in here. That's my thought. I think this is really going to help. I think this is a much smarter way to do it this year. I think it's going to take up a lot less room. So that's another reason. If I have a pocket, let's say on this page, and I end up putting a tag in it, and I end up putting one of the journal cards tucked in it as well. So now this one page has 3 projects on it, where these have 1 project per page. So I think this will take up a lot less room. And I'm pretty sure we can fit all of the projects in one journal. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see if we can fit 100 elements in here or not. I think we will. Now, might it end up being a little chunk dunk like that? It just might. We'll see. I don't know. But that is why I intentionally only added 4 items per signature. It's really light. See all the room, see how it lays flat right now, but look at all the room in there. And that is also why I did a 2-inch spine. So I think we'll be okay. So just to review, here's one signature. So it's 4 items. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 items. So that's 1 signature. And the way we count journal pages, if you're a newbie, this might help. So just like you're reading a regular book, like take your paperback book, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So every single page gives you every single item or sheet that you put into a signature gives you 4 pages. So 4 times 4 items is 16 pages. 16 pages with 6 signatures equals 96 pages. So this journal is going to be a 96 page journal. So that's not as many. I would normally do like 120 or more, 160. So there aren't as many pages in this journal. So there should be plenty of room for all of our projects. I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers that question. But even though those 2 great big huge books from the 100 Days project last year, they are incredible resources, and I love flipping through them just to see the creativity, just to remind myself, look at what you can do, Kathy, look at what you can create. Sometimes when you get a little bit stuck or something, it's really nice to have those to look through. So if you did grab one of my base journals, thank you so much. I truly appreciate that support. They're all spoken for now. I have, this is what I made. So this is like a file folder type of, here, let me show you the cover. It was some sort of a report cover or something. So it was this tall, I guess this tall. So, and it had like an, you know, those wire things that you fold down. What do they call it? Some sort of a closure thing that you would put. That's what these were. So I cut that one side off and then cut this to fit. And then I scored it to be the right size. Let me see. So we've got 5.5 this way, 8.5 tall with a 2-inch spine. That's what size these are. And again, there's six signatures of 4 items each for a total of 96 pages. So lots of room for bulk. But you absolutely do not need to purchase one of those journals or create an entire journal. You can use an altered book like I did for take an old book and remove some of the pages. You could use a composition notebook. You could make a simple stapled booklet. You could use a 3-ring binder. Or honestly, you can just make the items as we go along and then put them in a shoebox or something, similar to the way we did with the shoebox stash. But I really do love the idea of building an inspiration book. So let's talk about the structure of the whole series. So we're officially going to start on Saturday, February 21st. Start whenever you can. Catch up whenever you can, but each Saturday is going to be a longer video, maybe about 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour, and during those videos we'll do about 3 or more projects. We just have a little bit, some people have a little bit more time on the weekend, so that makes sense. And then during the rest of the week we'll do shorter videos, about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and we'll just focus on one project at a time. So we're not actually doing 100 days. We're going to run February 21st through till every day until April 30th. I think that's around 70 days or so of crafting together. So we'll be crafting right through the rest of this nasty winter. And by the time we're done, it's going to be spring. So we will have 100 scrap ideas under our belt. We'll have a wonderful book of ideas. Looking forward to that. Okay. So 100 days versus 100 ways. Last year, I participated in the 100 days project, the global initiative, and I did the 100 days of envelopes. It was Kara Brandon that brought the project to my attention and invited me to give it a whirl. And I did it, and that's where I met most of you, a lot of you. So that was a lot of fun. But I'm not going to participate in that format going forward. From now on, I will be doing something different on my own called 100 Ways series. So this time we're going to do 100 ways, obviously, of how to use our scraps, but in the future maybe we'll do 100 ways to I don't know, let's say 100 ways to use book pages, or I don't know, we'll see in the future. But at least I won't be tied to a calendar format, and I can do it at any time of year, and I don't have to do it as 100 days. I could fit it into, you know, a series of 10 by 10s or 3 by whatever, 5 by 20s, whatever we decide to do. And in this case, like I said, it's going to be around 70 days or so. So we don't have to follow a calendar rule. We're just going to follow creativity, and that will be a future series for me, starting with the 100 ways to use scraps. So yesterday I was at the antique market and moving to a bigger booth, which is exciting. So I have 2 shelf type booths there. One is the I sell wooden rubber stamps, and the other one I sell junk journals and junk journal supplies. And I'm just going to trade this like this. There we go. Anyways, I hear hello, Kathy, and I turn around. It was a face I did not recognize, and she introduced herself, Sonia, and she recognized me from YouTube. So that's the first time I've been recognized out in the wild. And she lives in a town not too far away, and her and her husband happened to be antiquing, and that was really nice of her to stop and say hello. And we had a really nice conversation about the junk journal community, junk journal making, that sort of thing. And I'll tell you, I love this community. It's kind, it's creative, it's supportive. And the comments I've been getting from you guys about just how excited you are about this series, I mean, I thank you so much for that, because it can be a little bit daunting to look ahead at, like, how am I going to do 100, so your excitement really propels me. So I just want to say thank you. And again, hello to Sonia. It was really nice to meet you in person. So that was cool. That was really cool. I am genuinely looking forward to crafting alongside all of you. So this is it. This is the beginning of 100 ways to use scraps. And we're going to make our own inspiration book. So your checklist is: get your scraps ready, get your bin or your box of scraps, print the checklist if you so desire, choose your journal or whatever book you're going to use for the series, and then find some sort of an empty bin or box to use for any extras. And we'll get started on Saturday. I can't wait. I look forward to seeing you in the first project. Take care, and I'll see you there. Bye.